Hey guys, so this is my Nintendo Switch collection physically and digitally, and I think I do have one more on the thing. I'm not really sure. I have to go check. But this is the main ones that I have. The digital ones, of course, are Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And then I got, the compilation packs, the 2 packs like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, and then I got the 20th, 30th, I should say, anniversary edition of Street Fighter. And a lot of these games vary in prices when I bought them. Like this here, obviously when it started out was $29.99, $30, and it went down to $19.99, $20. Same with Street Fighter's 30th anniversary collection, and My Little Pony: My Little Pony: A Maritime Bay Adventure. That went from $49.99 to $39.99, so it went down. Same with Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania was basically like them, $49.99, then went to $39.99, and so on. So and then you look at Mario Odyssey, Mario Brothers Wonder, Mario Strikers Battle League, and then again these, and you're looking at games that were priced at $59.99 to $69.99 to, or not 69, but $49.99 to $59.99, and $49.99 to $59.99, and same here, and the same with these as well. So you look at those prices and you're like, okay, that's reasonable, because the Switch, when it was released, was only $249, $250 for the core base, just the core system, and then with the bundle, it was $299, $300, which is understandable. And then when they brought the OLED version out, they raised the price to $350, even that out to $350, $349.99, $350, and $399, $400, if you will. So that's understandable too, because it's an OLED. You use an OLED screen, it's a little bit better and all that. So it's understandable. Excuse me, my finger hit the camera there. But it's understandable to, charge, for that much. Charge that much for those core systems, or for those consoles, bundled or not, to make up for the cost of what they had to put into the said systems. And it's also the same for when they charged these games initially when they came out, at the price points they were, because initially you're looking at 59 on both of those, 29, 29, not 29, but 59 on both of these, 39, 39, 49, 49, and then 59 and 59. So it is justifiable to charge that much. And everybody pretty much had a clue that the Switch 2 might cost a little bit more, because it's basically an upgrade, if you will. It's an upgrade. It's like when you upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11. It's basically, you're getting all the features that you know of, but even more now. You're getting even better features. And, it's understandable that the price point for the console, bundled or bare, would be high. So a lot of people figured, okay, if it's going to be 400, maybe 429, basically 430, that's understandable. But to see that the price point for the bare bones console, basically the console itself, being $450, and then the bundled version with Mario Kart World being 500, that, to a lot of people, that's not right. Now, some will justify and say, well, they got to make up for the cost of improving the power, adding in the cooling fan, and doing this and that. Basically the upgrade on all the specs. The ability to now to play your games in 4K when it's dark and everything on your 4K television and everything, and so on and so forth. And look, if that's what you believe, and that's how you, and look, if that's what you believe, and justify it being the reasoning for the price point on the console, bare bones and bundled, that's fine. That's more power to you. And some even say it's the tariffs, and everything. And it's like, well, this is because of the tariffs being put on all the countries. And, if that's what you believe, that's fine too. That's your opinion. But if it's the tariffs you believe being the reason, maybe what you need to realize is, a lot of maybe what you and you need to realize, I'm trying to find the right word to say, maybe what you need to realize is the leaders of those countries, Japan, Russia, China, you name it, they need to realize that, the guy that's running the country now, he don't mess around. So the moment he got elected, that's when they should have been like, okay, this guy's going to take office over in the United States. He's not someone to screw around with. Let's just play by his rules and be done with it. And that's it. That's all they had to do. And I guarantee you, if you think tariffs is the reason, is the reason for the price hike and everything, and if it is, that's okay. That's just the reality of it. If you believe that's the reason, then again, the leaders of the country should have been more like, okay, this guy's in charge now. He don't mess around like he didn't mess around the last time. Let's just, let's just get in shape and play by his rules until he's gone. That's all they had to do. That's all they had to do, if that's the reasoning, but we don't know. But anyway, though, it's understandable, okay, if you want to take away the tariff deal and all that, it's understandable to raise the price up to the $450, maybe $480, 500 range for the console and everything, to make up, for all the things they had to put into it. That's understandable. But it's not understandable if you're charging nearly $80 to $100 digitally and physically, for a game. I mean, digitally you're charging digitally you're charging $80 for a game like, let's say, Mario Kart 8 or Super Smash. You're doing that, or you're charging, $90 for, or almost $100 for a physical game like Mario Wonder, and for what? To make up for the cost of the system and everything. I mean, you're basically charging, almost $100 with tax for a little thing like this. And the only difference with it is, yeah, it's going to probably have increased power and everything, but the only other difference is it's going to be colored red, and you're charging for that? And you're taking games that, that are within the same universe, if you will. Like, let's say this, or in this case, the new one, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and you're charging less? It's like, what's going on here? What's the deal? That doesn't seem right. It's like something feels amiss. And what's interesting, though, about that, too, is they never said anything about the price points for the games. They only said you only have to upgrade to the expansion pack for the GameCube and all that, or you have to upgrade for these kind of games like this one to have the Nintendo Switch 2 treatment given to it and all that. And that's fine. But they never talked about price point. And that's what really ticked off, I think, a lot of folks when they saw what the prices were going to be out, after the presentation was done. But again, them not talking about price point, this was kind of odd. So my assumption is this. Either these price points are legit, or someone's screwing with them. Someone is screwing with them. They got into the system, into Nintendo's, I guess you could say, files, and they're screwing with people, and maybe we'll find out the truth later on. But if it is true, then Nintendo, I think, is going to lose a lot of business. The system's not going to sell well. It's going to be another Wii U 2 situation, or another Wii U situation, and they're going to have to make up for this. They're going to have to make up for this in a big way. So hopefully they get their act together, and before June 5th, they'll bring the price down, not just on the console, bundle, or core, but also on the games. But let me know what your thoughts are on the whole price hike on the games and the console and everything. And until then, I am out.